Mali's fight for democracy. INTRO, hook and attention grabber. Dramatic music, dark visuals of protest soldiers and burning tires. Narrator, authoritative, urgent. What if I told you that in the heart of West Africa, a nation once celebrated for its democracy is now caught between hope and chaos? What if the dream of freedom in Mali, land of empires, of Timbuktu, of golden history, was slipping away right before our eyes? Pause, softer tone. And here's the real question. If Mali's democracy dies, could your own country be next? Pattern interrupt, lighter tone, almost humorous. Don't scroll just yet. This isn't some boring history lecture. I promise, by the end of this video, you'll see Mali not as someone else's struggle, but as a mirror for Africa's future. Act 1, the setup, Mali's promise. Archival visuals of Mali's landscapes, old footage of elections, Timbuktu's libraries. Narrator. Mali wasn't always a headline for coups, conflict, and crisis. Once, it was celebrated as one of Africa's strongest democracies. In 1991, after years of dictatorship, the people of Mali rose up, demanding freedom. The streets of Bamako shook with chants of change, and the world applauded as Mali embraced multi-party democracy. For 2 decades, Mali became the poster child of African democracy. Free elections, peaceful transitions, civil liberties. It was proof that, yes, democracy could work in Africa. Emotional trigger, pride. To young Africans watching back then, Mali was a beacon, proof that their votes, their voices, their futures could matter. Cliffhanger. But then everything changed. Act 2, the conflict, chaos and coups. Visuals shift. Soldiers on the streets, terrorist attacks, maps showing northern Mali, refugees fleeing. Narrator, serious, tense. 2012, a year that tore Mali's democracy apart. Islamist insurgents stormed the north, seizing towns and forcing brutal rule. The Malian army, underfunded and disorganized, collapsed. And then the soldiers turned their guns not only on the terrorists, but on their own government. A coup. The world gasped. Democracy was bleeding. Since then, Mali has been trapped in a cycle. Coups in 2012. Coups again in 2020. And once more in 2021. Each time, the military promised, "We are here to save democracy." But tell me, can democracy really survive when it's constantly put in the hands of men with guns? Pattern interrupt. Sudden humor/question. Think about it. If democracy was a smartphone, Mali has dropped it so many times. I'm surprised the screen isn't shattered beyond repair. Transition back to serious tone. But this isn't just about politics. It's about lives. Thousands displaced. Terror attacks growing. A generation of young Malians, just like you, who should be chasing dreams, but instead are caught between soldiers, jihadists, and politicians who play chess with their future. Cliffhanger. And here's the scariest part. Mali's struggle isn't staying in Mali. Act 3. The resolution. Why Mali matters to Africa. Visuals. ECOWAS meetings, Nigerian protests. African youth holding signs. Images of unity. Narrator, urgent, inspirational. Mali's fight is Africa's fight. Because every time democracy falls in one African country, it sets a dangerous example for others. Nigeria, Ghana, Niger, Burkina Faso, none are immune. Ask yourself, if soldiers in Mali can seize power and call it salvation, what stops it from happening in Abuja, or Accra, or even in your hometown? But here's the hope. Every time Malians march in the streets, demanding elections, They remind us that democracy isn't just about presidents or parliaments. It's about people. It's about you. Pattern interrupt. Reset with humor. Now, I know what you're thinking. Cool speech, but I'm just one person. What am I supposed to do? Put on a cape and fly to Bamako. Relax. No capes needed. Inspirational tone. What you can do is refuse to give up on democracy, whether in Mali or in your own country. You can raise your voice. You can hold leaders accountable. You can inspire your generation to believe that freedom is worth the fight. Because here's the truth. Democracy dies only when ordinary people stop defending it. Ending, final cliffhanger and call to action. Dramatic buildup. Visuals of young Africans protesting, voting, standing united. Narrator, slow, powerful. So the question is not whether Mali will survive its fight for democracy. The real question is, will you survive yours? Because if we lose Mali, we risk losing the future of democracy in Africa itself. Pause, softer. But if Mali rises again, it could spark a wave of freedom across the continent. Final call to action. So stay informed, stay awake, and never, ever believe the lie that your voice doesn't matter. This is more than Mali's fight. This is Africa's fight. This is your fight.